Yo, YouTube world, what is going on? What's up? How's it been? How's it been hanging? Have y'all missed us?
I hope you did.
We are KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with the Y. Like, subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff. And this video is about...
how to travel on a budget.
That's right. Coming up next, how to travel on a budget.
So, as many of you guys know, people who know us personally, or if anybody traveled our vlog, we try to do our best to travel as much as we can. And we constantly get questions, how do you can afford this? Like, you're balling out of control because you go in all these crazy looking countries and it's very expensive.
So it seems.
So it seems. So it's not, you guys. All it takes is proper budgeting, proper planning, and lots of research. So today we want to talk about the tips, and I can, tell you guys what we do or what we use to book our tickets, the airline tickets, to look for places to stay, etc., and how we save money on certain things.
Yep, the trifecta. Here we go. Let's get into it.
So when it comes to airplane tickets, of course we buying usually the cheapest tickets, so we fly in economy. We're not ballers, unfortunately. Would be nice.
Which is sad, because I really do miss flying first class everywhere. That was a great time in my life. But at least I still get to
I don't
travel.
miss it because I've never experienced it, so I guess I'm in a better position than he is.
Yes, it is better to never have experienced first class than to experience and then have to fly coach.
Yeah.
That's facts.
But when we buy our airplane tickets, I try to book them pay attention to the times so we can have the most of the daylight wherever we're going. So we're not traveling, completely during the day and then wasting all the time and travel. That's why we usually book tickets to fly out super early. We flew out as early as 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning before, just to make sure we
maximize daylight.
Yes.
And red eyes are good as well.
Exactly. We don't waste our time sitting in the airports or airplanes, during the day where we can be exploring. If you guys fly with long layovers, what we do is we try to do our best to plan them accordingly also to the daylight and try to get them long enough to
leave the airport.
Exactly.
Leave the airport so you can get out and experience things and see the country or place that you might, or city that you might be having a layover in, and that way you get to maximize the cities and places that you got to see on your trip. So it's just a good little way to add more stamps to your passport.
Yes, because I feel like if you're already going to be at the airport for 4 hours, I might as well look for a layover for 8 hours, you know what I mean? But at least that way I don't waste 4 hours sitting, but we can use part of those 8 hours just looking around somewhere.
Exactly. And we've done that many times. We did that in Turkey. We did that in London. We've done that in Paris probably several times.
Yes.
Where else? I've done that.
We've done the New York.
Oh, many times in New York. That's kind of like something that we always have to do in New York. We did it in Chicago.
We did Chicago. We did Toronto.
Toronto's actually a really good layover that we did.
Yes.
I think we spent the night in Toronto.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't?
We got there early and we flew out at night. We just wandered around the city.
Yeah, and it was actually really fun. We got to see a lot of cool stuff in Toronto when we did that. I did it in Tokyo a few times. That was before we met. And several places around the world. So it's just a good way to see extra cities and do stuff and get more bang for your buck.
Definitely it feels like my vacation was a lot longer, even if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because it's so much more, condensed in this stuff.
So many more things happen.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing is look for free upgrades on flights and rentals. And we talked about that in our other video about how to be comfortable on a long distance flight. But it is extremely possible to get free upgrades. Like when you hear them, when you're sitting in the airport lounge, and you hear them say over the intercom system, hey, we're looking for 4 passengers who can go on a later flight, and we'll give you a $500, $600, $700, $800 travel voucher. Yes. Always jump on those if you have flexible schedule. Because, best case scenario, you end up in your destination 2 or 3 hours later, but you get a free ticket to go see another city or a country or whatever. So always look out for those upgrades. And then always talk to your... not your flight insert in-flight people, but the people that are at the desk.
I guess assist. I don't know
what are they called. I can't think of the name right now. That's so funny. The people that the people are at the desk when you're
boarding the flight.
Ticket agents.
Ticket agents.
Ticket agents. Always talk to your ticket agents and be very nice and be very, like, you know what I'm saying,
Yes.
communicable with them. And you'll be surprised what those people can do for you. They can, on some flights, they can do a lot of things for you and make you, you know, go from like really uncomfortable seat to really nice seat.
Yes.
So yes, that's another thing. Oh, and if you have a military pass, not military pass, a military ID,
that helps a lot.
that helps a lot as well. So when I had my military ID, I
Actually,
was
that helps
constantly
with
getting
a
upgrades.
few things. And not
Pre-check.
only it does the pre-check, it gives upgrades. You get like different luggage fees or completely free because a lot of airlines that charging for, you know, even carry-ons, people like they charge you now. So military ID definitely comes in handy.
And you get priority boarding with the military ID. So if you're in the military, I mean, make the most of it. You're already doing the time. You're already, you know what I'm saying, serving the country, and we thank you for your service. And when I was in the military, I definitely made the most out of having my CAT card on me. And
we
used
used
on
it
benefits
a lot.
that I earned with all the hard work
Yes.
that I gave for the government. So
We
big up.
definitely used it.
Okay, so the next thing is use reward cards. Oh my God! Speaking of the military, so you want to speak on it real quick? So speaking of the military, one of my best buds that just got out of the military, he told me to get a rewards card, and he's one of those guys that's really into like the thrifty thing and, like, you know what I'm saying, maximizing his bang for his buck. So I trusted his advice when he told me this, because he's like, he loves that. Like he geeks out on frugalness. Like it is his like.
He knows things in detail.
Yes, in
which
detail.
Is very helpful.
He's very analytical and analyzes all this stuff. So when he told me I should get a rewards travel credit card, I believed his advice, and we are so happy that we did, because since we've done that, what have we done with it?
We only traveled with it one time, but I felt the difference. We flew to Ukraine, so obviously there's a lot of different travel cards out there with rewards. So just do a research. But the one that we have,
Chase.
Yeah, we have Chase Reserve.
Chase Reserve something or another.
They get, I mean, apart from giving it better rates on flights, you know, or car rentals, hotels, and stuff like that, 24-hour concierge service, no international fees. It gives you, we travel, like I said, a lot. So when you're stuck in the airport, you know how uncomfortable it is to sit somewhere in the chair, wait for your flight for 4 hours.
After you've been stuck on a plane or crammed on a plane all day.
Exactly.
It's like, but you can go into these lounges and they have free food, they have free Wi-Fi, you can lay down, you can feel comfortable, they have showers, amazing coffee, like, I mean, almost, like pretty much most of the basic things, the comforts that you would want after getting off a super long flight. All those things are there, and
a lot of them are very nice.
And some of them are really nice. We
lounges.
went to, so far we've only been to the Alaska Air one, and we went to another one in some other airport. I can't remember where it was.
In New York, we were somewhere, I think.
Yeah, but they were both like really nice, and the Alaska Air one was actually really nice, and the views are nice, and it's just a much more relaxed environment for you to kind of wind down after all the stress of being stuck on an airplane for however many hours. So what's the next thing?
Buy tickets ahead of time.
I mean, yeah, buy tickets ahead of time. We shouldn't probably go into too much detail about that.
No, that's just kind of self-explanatory. Yeah, the earlier you buy, the cheaper it's going to be.
And this next bullet point goes back to getting your rewards card. But if you travel a lot, you should get TSA pre-check, or you should get, what is it called? Global entry.
Global entry. They're a little different. Global entry includes TSA pre-check. Global entry is good if you travel internationally.
Yes.
If you don't, really no point of having it because it helps you with customs. TSA pre-check, it helps you go through quicker lines, security lines at the airport, which saves you a lot of time.
And time is money, and this vlog is all about saving money.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's TSA pre-check. Oh, and then it goes back to the card, because the cards will they will refund you the money that you spend to get your TSA pre-check or global entry, or the other four that are out there that are they're the ones that if you travel between the United States and Mexico a lot, there's a specific one.
And there's Canada.
And then there's one that if you travel between the United States and Canada a lot, there's another one. So if you need any of those, these cards will reimburse you when you purchase those, and you get points or something like that. It's really dope. So definitely get the card, definitely get TSA pre-check, because time is money. Okay, so places to stay. Next topic.
Wait. One more thing before. We've talked about it before about the, bring your own snack, but I was going to say is because we hung out in those lounges that the card let us into, our, benefits, we took snacks from there. And that also saves you a bunch of money. Airport food is expensive, so
Yes.
make sure you do your best to save everywhere you can, because they'll give you more money, obviously, to travel.
Exactly. Okay, so we're moving on to the next one.
Yes.
The next one, places to stay.
So from most of our traveling we've done, I use Airbnb to book our spots. Either that can be a full house, apartment, condo, room, couch, whatever that might be. I'm sure majority of people, familiar with Airbnb service. Who isn't? It's pretty much people renting out their own places and making extra money. Airbnbs, majority of times, are great. Just do your research, read your reviews. Sometimes reviews can be deceiving. We had that incident one time, but majority of time, I can't complain. The place has been great.
Yes, we've had only one bad experience with Airbnb, and because we should really keep this vlog
Yeah,
short,
we're not gonna
go
elaborate.
into many details about it, but out of all our Airbnbs, we had nothing but great experiences. At most of them, we only had one bad one, which happened to be in New York. So just do your research, and you should get good results with Airbnb.
But also, it depends where you're going. Also, do your research, because some places, hotels might be a better option than actual
Yeah.
Airbnb. Like, we went to Dubai, and our hotel was very cheap. We paid like, $40 a night.
And it was very cheap and very awesome.
The hotel was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was amazing.
Like, there were fresh flowers in
There
the
were
lobby
fresh
every
orchids
day. Like
every day.
the lobby just smelled amazing. The room was incredible. It had these massive windows. The bathroom was like completely just insane and baller marble everywhere. I mean, I don't know how this place is $40 a night, but I'm glad that it was.
Yes. So definitely, just like I said, do your research. When you guys, if you use Airbnb service and you book in through Airbnb, make sure you pay attention to any additional, I guess what they call it, fine script.
The fine print.
Fine print.
Always read the fine print.
But usually what I pay attention to is house rules and additional prices, because a lot of places will charge you, let's say, a certain amount of money per night, but if you have additional guests, they're going to charge you extra, or they can get you to pay additional cleaning fees or security deposits. So sometimes it looks better when you see just price per night, but when you actually at the end, it's going to be more expensive. So make sure you pay attention to all those little things. A lot of times also Airbnb can give you additional discounts. Depend how long you stay. Like, if you stay for a week, most of the places give you a weekly discount. Obviously, if you stay for a month, and if you're that privileged, I wish we would be, they give you a nice hefty monthly discount for staying. Also, Airbnb give you money back if you, not money back, but they kind of give you like a travel credit if you refer friends to use Airbnb service. And we actually made money that way as well, to help us, to knock out the price a little bit more.
Yep.
So Airbnb is a very, very, very good option.
It's a very good option, and it also shows you the different activities and stuff like that. And then we got renting a car under places to stay. Should we talk about that right now?
Yeah, because after that, it's pretty much goes like random things.
Oh, okay. So that's a different title.
Yeah,
All right.
it's just-
So renting a car. How do you do it? Why do you do it? Well, renting a car is one of those things that's kind of like you have to pay attention to what city you're going to and what's the best mode of transport for that city. Certain places, renting a car can give your trip a whole new dynamic, and in other places, renting a car can be a massive hindrance that will restrict you from seeing this place that you paid so much money and time and effort to go to. So, without further ado, let's talk about this. Number one thing about renting a car, if you're going to rent a car, it is great if you do it with a major credit card, particularly Amex or this Chase card that we recently acquired, because these cards give you full protection as far as insurance and accidents and incidents and all that kind of stuff for the card. And you don't have to upgrade and pay those crazy, ridiculous prices. And in fact, because we have this card, the rental that we just got was way cheaper than the last time when we went to the same place and got a rental.
But we got hustled one time with the insurance because we still listened to them. Even though we knew that our credit card would cover insurance, these people still hustled us. So please, please, please contact your credit card before you go on your vacation. Ask for details, and then just stick with your plan, because these people,
they will try to make you buy the extra
they're
insurance.
gonna try to make you buy the insurance.
Like when we were in Iceland, we didn't buy the insurance and we didn't need it. And as soon as we decided not to buy the insurance, the person that was at the rental counter went from being very friendly to very mean because we didn't get the insurance. But we had a good time in Iceland. We didn't have any issues, and we brought the car back with no problems. And then we had another situation in Ibiza, or Ibiza, depending on what part of the world you're in, where we didn't get the insurance, and literally as soon as we drove outside of the parking lot, somebody rear-ended us.
And even though at that point, I'm pretty sure our credit card
we still would have been covered.
Yeah.
We were still being covered, but just to be on the side of caution, the dent that the person put in the car wasn't that bad. We went right back to the rental place, and we were like, you know what? We'll get that extra insurance.
It was funny. It was like literally not
hilarious.
5 minutes. Yeah.
That was hilarious. So yes, if you're doing a rental car, use a major credit card. It makes things a lot simpler, and you get all the buyer protections and traveler's protections that come with those specific travel specific cards. So that's pretty much summarizes rental cars, unless there's anything else.
Yes, no, now it's just a couple of random things I want to talk about. If you guys traveling abroad and you want to use your phone, check with your phone company. We use T-Mobile, and they provide free data and free text messaging in pretty much any country.
Yep.
And which is enough for you to communicate with your friends and family back home, is enough for you to use, internet, so you can Google things to do, use maps and stuff like that. But just make sure you do that before you travel. And, like I said, research is the key word in this video, I feel like. Research. Yeah.
And it avoids you having to do the whole nonsense of as soon as you get off the airplane, you got to go to the local communications company and say, hey, I need to buy a SIM chip, and going through the whole issues of like trying to acquire a SIM chip and a SIM card in the country that you just reached to, and so you can like actually have active communication. If you have T-Mobile, it just makes it so easy because of their global platform that you just get off where you're going, and then boom, you turn your phone on, it works. You can contact your friends and say, hey, I've just arrived, and boom, you have an excellent holiday. Except for this last time in Ukraine, it didn't go so smooth.
Yeah, well, they had an issue.
They had a conundrum.
With the service. It wasn't necessarily our company, but I think it happened. Like how sometimes your internet goes out and they in the process of fixing it. Well, the same thing happened with our service, but unfortunately, T-Mobile experts did not know about it. They weren't aware. So it took them like almost 48 hours to figure that out because we thought something was wrong with our phones.
Yeah, but it wasn't. So that's a long story, and we could probably save that for another vlog. So next. So we prefer to get the authentic experiences of our travel time. So we do our research and we explore, and we also save money by getting authentic experiences. And I guess what we kind of mean by this is that we tried to avoid tourist traps. We tried to do more so things that are more like, I guess, synonymous or more so akin to wherever we are. So we're not just like going somewhere like, I don't know, let's say like Jamaica, for instance. We're not just going to go to Jamaica and just, stay in a resort the whole time, or stay in a resort, period. Like instead, like, if and when we go to Jamaica, it's like we're going to stay places that are more like Airbnb-ish and places that are more local-ish. So number one, you save money because you're outside of the tourist trap and the claws of the tourist trap. And you get to see like really what the country is really like, instead of what the Bureau of Travel wants you to think the country is like, which is a very big difference in a lot of places.
I completely agree with that. And then that comes also when you guys eat anything abroad. We try to save money on certain things. Every time we travel and we get to a country, first thing we do is we hit up the local grocery store.
Or market.
Or market, yes. So we get plenty of snacks and we get breakfast food. That way, when we wake up in the morning, we just already have something to snack on and eat, and then we hit the road. So we don't waste our time looking for places to eat and spending our time sitting down. We'll usually spend our time sit down eating like dinner or lunch, one of the meals usually. But we try to see as much as we can and do as much as we can. So we're trying to save time.
And that was a massive plus in Iceland because we went to the grocery store and we bought a lot of food, and food is very expensive in Iceland. So what we did was we went to the grocery store, we bought tons of stuff so we could make sandwiches and make snacks and blah, blah, blah. And as we drove around the country, if we felt like we were hungry, and Iceland's also kind of remote, so instead of us trying to jump through all these hoops to find a restaurant, we would just pull over on the side of the road, we would make our sandwiches, we would stare at a beautiful mountain, and we would eat our sandwich in the grass, and it was awesome. It was great.
I gotta say, I'm so glad we had food in the car because anybody who traveled to Iceland should know that. there would be for miles and miles and miles nothing around you, and sometimes we almost ran out of gas. So I was like, we're gonna be sleeping over here in the middle of nothing. We're gonna have no food, no water. So I'm glad we had our food, because if we would have got stuck there, like that would have saved our life for the night.
Exactly.
And oh, I'm sorry. One more thing about the food. If we travel and we actually go eat like out somewhere in a restaurant, we usually pick local restaurants. We don't go to the same thing as the tourist trap restaurants or Americanized or touristy places, because the food is not all that good. It's not authentic usually. They kind of like, change it out a little to, fit everybody else's taste. We go to like hole in the walls, and that's the best experience we've had so far.
Yep, always hole in the walls. Local's place, local only. Yes. So another thing that we're gonna say is like, so when considering your hotel or your Airbnb or where you're staying, it's good to be, I guess, critical about it to some degree, but try not to be overly critical, because you got to keep in mind that, well, it depends on how you travel, but the way that we travel, and for people who are like-minded like us, we don't really spend that much time in the Airbnb or hotel anyway. So it's like there's really no point in like booking something that's like stupid luxurious, because we're never there. We're like out literally from sunrise way past sunset. So it's like we just sleep there, shower, and change clothes. And it doesn't really have to be a 7-star place for you to sleep, shower, and change clothes.
It just needs to be clean and comfy. That's all I care about.
And then the last thing is always do your research ahead of time so that you don't waste time while you are already on holiday. And this will help you plan your time more effectively.
Yeah, so it's just, like I said, the key word for this video is research, research, and research. The more research you do, the better your vacation is going to go, from the time you book in the tickets, renting places, looking for places to stay, or any experience you want to do.
Yep.
Because most of the time, before we get to where we're going, we already have some things lined up, like, oh, okay, well, I want to see this, I want to do this, and then we plan accordingly. So it is not that difficult, you guys, to travel and to see other places, as long as you budget properly and just do your research, even with a child.
Yep.
So don't make it stop you. We have only one life. But what I was going to say is, I know a lot of people scared of going to the countries that we're going. And I think it's because people don't do enough research.
That's legitimate.
Exactly.
Way to, I guess, end the
because
video.
A lot of these places we go, they're awesome. And it's actually, people are very nice. Like the whole UAE experience.
Yeah.
It was one of the nicest countries I've ever been. I've never been treated that nice
She
anywhere
was scared
else.
to go there.
I wasn't scared of UAE. It was very different. My concern was the laws about, women and like what should I be dressed as?
She was
I
watching
didn't
too
want
much
to be.
Fox News.
That is not true. We don't have cable, you guys. We haven't had cable in like 8 years, so don't listen to him. But yeah, just like I said, a lot of people scared of traveling to certain countries, and trust me, you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, people are a lot nicer than you think, and a lot more humane than you think. So don't believe what you see on the television. Go and experience these countries for yourself.
Yes.
It's actually not as crazy as people say that they are.
Go see the world. The world is huge.
Yep. So yeah, we're KRT Life, KRT Life with the Y. I hope this motivates y'all to get out there and travel and do things and stop sitting on your couch watching YouTube. Get out there and make your own YouTube videos about you doing cool stuff.
If there's anything else you're interested in, just ask us a question. I'll make sure to do our best to answer all the other questions, because I'm sure there's something we forgot. There's so much goes into planning, but...
So, as what's his name from the Smiths says, ask me, ask me, ask me, because if it's not love, then it's the bomb, the bomb, the bomb, the bomb, the bomb, the bomb, the bomb that will bring us together. Peace, y'all. KRT Life with the Y.